Hello, hello. Going live. I am working on getting my camera up right now. I am trying to find all the things I need to do that. I'm trying to start up another phone on this computer or on this to use because I have an extra phone. And so I'm trying to use this extra phone exclusively for StreamYard. So that I can start streaming from my phone. Well, using the computer and the phone, but using the phone as a separate entity to have the camera separate because the app I was using keeps locking up and acting stupid. So I'm trying to set it up where I can do this and not have problems. It's once again not letting me change the way it is. Let me see. So let me see what it'll let me do here. And it's still not going to let me change that. Okay. See, it's doing it again. It's making it go up and down. It won't let me. It says it is landscape. Interesting. I don't know why it doesn't show me this on here. Okay, let me put this camera in here. And if I put it this way, that's left and that's right. Okay. Let me get this mounted in. Put the charger back in. Let me lower this a little bit. That's still turned because it's going to be that way. That puts it left and right. And I will just have to keep my work within that area. So I'm going to be working on the green hat today. I have my pieces sitting over here. And it's two of the pieces. And where's the one? I know I could not have now misplaced the biggest part of the hat. Oh, no, I have something sitting on top of it. Because I had done this up yesterday. Trying to set it up. Hi, Beth. Good to see you here. But I did this to help make it curve. Hopefully that'll help keeping it curved. I have this to put on, but I don't have holes in it yet. So we'll need to put holes in it. And you will see me make holes in my tabletop, and that's okay because I cover this up in tape to keep a clean surface. And when it gets messed up, I just pull the tape off and change it out. It's no big deal. Okay, I'm gonna cut some of this off of here. Trim up this edge a little bit. I just need the holes so that I put my holes in the right space. Will you rinse this out?
Sure. Do you want to fill with water?
Sure. Not all the way because I need to put drink mix in it. Thank you. My computer just looked at me. There. Let me get this straightened out. Did not trim that edge quite even. There we go. That should work better. So let me get this straightened. And I will put tape every so often to hold this in place. I know some of it's off camera, but it's what I have to do to get a long strip going. Don't think this one's gonna fit these holes. Let me see. Yeah, I think I can swing it with that one. I'm gonna do, I have pieces of candle in here. And to smear a little wax on here because that makes it feed through my hole punch instead of clogging it up. I just put a little coat on there. Get these holes lined up. Just have to remember I have a camera here so that I don't smack it. And I'll relocate this in a second. Get the next set going.
Don't hit your fingers now.
I already hit my fingers.
Oh.
I should probably email Mark to send a message tomorrow so I can tell her I'm not on because she never gets notifications when I come on. And there. No more knows. I'm going to make me a drink real quick before I proceed. I don't drink sodas, and I don't like drinking plain water. So I buy the drink mixes, equivalent of Crystal Light. Not always Crystal Light brand, sometimes Crystal Light brand, sometimes the Walmart Great Value brand. Whatever we find that we decide we like is what we buy. And we do that instead of soda a lot of the times, because a lot of soda is not good for your kidneys or your teeth. Hi, Marcia. You want to say hi to people?
Hello, everyone.
Or did you want something else from me?
That also.
What? Hold on a second. Let me see what Topher needs. Okay, I'm back. I'm getting the holes in here. Where's the camera on this thing? Getting the holes in here so when I stitch it together, I will have the holes to make it easier. And see what I mean by punching holes in my table? It's no big deal for me because I already know that it won't stay that way. I'll probably redo it tonight after I get offline. And so tomorrow it'll look all fresh again. I tear it up on a regular basis. Go ahead and throw some more wax on here. It'll go down in those holes just a little bit, which will allow the pieces to feed out of my hole punch, and that's what keeps, I don't know if you can see them flying out or not. I'm not too sure. I'm fond of this phone as a camera until I figure out how to make it flip. When I'm underneath the camera, I have to not swing as high. I have to do a couple more extra hits on there. I'm pretty sure I'll have more than enough of this to go around it and then some. which is what I prefer. Not as much left now. And what I'm doing here is I'm lining these holes up with two of the last holes that were punched prior. So at the end of the day, it'll all be lined up and looking good. Hi, Britta. Yeah, Marcia, it is doing it portrait instead of landscape. And oh wait, let me do it. Let me solo layout. Does that help? And let me move that towards me a little bit. It wouldn't flip it for me today. It did it on my other camera, my other phone, but this is the phone my daughter gave me, and I'm trying to get it set up so that I'm using it exclusively. Because it has no other job. It has no phone number attached. It is just a phone. It is still in great condition, but it is more like a backup phone than anything. And here you can see the pieces feeding out. They kind of stick together with the wax. Which is what we want. That's the main thing I needed to do there. I got these pins that fit perfectly in here. And one of the things I do when I'm finished each time is clear out those residual pieces of leather, because even with the wax, if you leave it in there after a while, it will harden. And then it's a pain in the patootie to get out. Pretty sure I cleaned them up yesterday. Yep. Nope, I did not. That's the one I was using yesterday. I am definitely going to have to rearrange things so that I can move this phone cord. Oh, wait. Maybe it's long enough. I'm trying to loop the phone cord so it's not dangling in front of my face. I think I can tape it over here. Because right now the phone cord is sitting directly above my finger, which is like right in the way. Now it's off to the side. because this is a pattern piece, I do need I'll just cut this leather off, the tape off of here. So I can use it later. So pretty much the only thing I did yesterday offline was tape or put the things on the big oval top piece so that it would help put a bend in it. And then I started working on a different project. So my workspace gets like this all the time. And literally after I take off layers of this, I just put down new tape to keep my workspace clean. And keep it as a clean environment. So I have this piece. I have to take all of these out now. Do you need a little jar of holes? I have little jars of holes. I thought about sending them with projects. I'm really bad about not closing scissors and such when I'm working, and I have to get in the habit of doing that. Absolutely all my items are holy, Jennifer. Come on. Quit being difficult. And see, this is actually staying bent. And that'll help me when I start stitching. The reason why these are hard to get out is you have to pull this spring out to make it release. And I'm trying to do that with my hand. And sometimes my thumb cooperates in grabbing it right. That's a long one. Wait a minute. Nope, I did not put any of the long ones in there. I don't think I did. I didn't make sure I did not. Nope, those are all shorties. come on. I don't know why my thumb is not catching that. Usually I can push in and then catch my thumb at the edge of it. And pull it out. Maybe I put them on too tight. I hope everybody has had a good Monday. Mine was okay considering things at work aren't working. But that is a long one. They are still some of the best things around. If I can say so myself. Yep. I like using this container. I don't like the lid on it, this label on it. I'm going to have to get some of that anti-sticky stuff to put on here. Much better. Now it doesn't look like it just came out of the store. I'm weird about that. I hate when things look like they just came out of the store, and that actually did not leave a sticky residue. But now I can see that I have my pin savers in here, or my stitch savers, and my tape measures. And then when and this is what I was talking about doing. Because I lost the lid to that one, and I lost some needles. Some needles fell out, which I'm sure I will find somewhere. But now all my hand stitching needles are right here. I'll probably put some little doodads because I've got these things for like my edge burner. My edge burner tips that I don't want to lose. I'll just label that. Put that there. Now those chips are in there. I have some other things like that I need to put somewhere. Hello to all my lurkers. I do not mean that in a negative way. I do not have enough of the short ones to go all the way around a hat. I had to use some of the long ones. But it is what it is, kind of thing. This is going to be this. I need to fix this first. I stitch this together first. I am stitching in black thread because I do not and have never found the right color green to match this. Let's see. I think that's the one I like better. And the black won't look bad on it, considering it's going to have black trim. This one will just need to be a shorty. I have to move the stuff from my makeup, my jewelry container that I am also making. And I was working on it yesterday. Because it's in the way of all my needles. These needles are not the same. I think this one and this one are the same. Hi, Flutter. I hope your visit with the doctor went well. I'm hoping the doctor says, Flutter, you look absolutely gorgeous and you're doing fine. They're supposed to be saying they think they found the miracle cure for all that ails you. And they can fix you for the rich price of $49.95. For some reason, I cannot stitch these upside down. I have to be looking at it correctly. I'm trying to make sure I do this snug, but not so snug that it buckles, because I want this to lay really nice and flat when I butt those two edges up. A lot of the stitching for this is on the inside, so it won't show. And this hat is repeat customer. I've had a couple of those lately. Which makes me feel good. Someone sent me money yesterday for one. Yeah, before anything drastic, always get a second opinion. Pull some of that extra wax off of this thread. I need to do that before I start next time. And then I won't be dealing with so much extra wax running around. Wax thread has its purpose. Yeah, sometimes you can get them to rerun the test or to look at the results and give their opinions, because what the hematologist may think is abnormal, it may be that due to the meds you're taking or something else, that is your norm. Tie this off. I do a surgical knot, a surgeon's knot on them. Oh, look, I get whole pieces. It'll leave me some tails there that I can burn later. Okay, so this is going to be let me get my thought processes down. So it is this. I'll pull that out in a minute. Actually, I can use this as my temporary holding piece to get it started. Let's do that. Then this. This. That's top. Like that. Get a couple of these, literally two, set up so that I'm marking my starting point. Is when I get it stitched. Let me tie this to get it started. I'll snip that out in a minute. That's what it'll be. And I'll have that black sticking out on the edge. I do need to trim this one back just a little bit. I'll hold that. And then I can measure my. Yeah, we had problems with my uncle. He took some very specific meds for his psychiatric conditions, and it affected some of his other lab tests. Well, for him, that was normal. And he actually had a doctor come up and told him that it made his stuff abnormal and that he needed to cut back. And so my uncle, not being a well-educated man, he was approximately a 7-month baby and weighed approximately 2 pounds when he was born. So he never fully developed mentally. And so being mentally impaired the way he was, when the doctor told him he needed to cut back on a med, he did just that, and he quit taking it, which was devastating. You should never quit taking most meds, just cold turkey. That's hard enough. But not only that, it was his psychiatric med. It was the only thing keeping him out of the hospital. And it was all because a doctor did not understand my uncle's condition and the medicines he was taking and how it affected his other levels. Had the doctor taken a little bit of time to research, or maybe to contact his other doctor, he would have seen that the labs that he was seeing as abnormal were actually perfectly normal. And my uncle would not have stopped taking his meds, and he would not have wound up back in the hospital. So, yeah, having a doctor that actually knows your body best go over everything is a good idea. I'm doing a quick run through of this thread to pull off a little of the wax. that's on here. I think I've done this before on stream and showed you why. This thread is just super heavy waxed. And what that means is when I run it through my fingers, I wind up with pulling wax off the thread. And while the thread is supposed to be waxed, you're not supposed to be able to do that. So yeah, your doctor that knows everything about you or about the most serious parts of you should go over your test results before any drastic decisions are made, for certain. And then if he agrees you need a liver biopsy, then by golly, you do it and we move forward. I say we as if I'm part of the family here, but yeah. Jennifer is a diabetic and has to deal with hospitals and diabetes things. And not only that is, I know when my late husband was in the hospital, his quote diabetic diet was so horrible that they had to give him insulin every time he went in the hospital. He was not an insulin controlled diabetic, but every time he went in the hospital, they were shooting him up with insulin because their diabetic diet was jacking his blood sugar so bad. So hospitals are horrible for some dietary needs. I don't care what they say. Getting my threads straight here. Why are my threads twisted? We're twisted, sister. There. I'll close my scissors because with my luck, I'll run my thread against something and wind up cutting my threads. One piece, two piece, three piece, four piece. Oh shoot, I just dropped my needle. It's one of the reasons why I puncture the thread with the needle and pass it through so it can dangle and I don't lose my needle. Wax. Okay. Once I get it started, The rest of this will be so much easier. I'm actually going to stop and use my stitch keepers on here because not doing that would be insane. Threads all over the place now. Put my needles over here. Marcia, do you have a date for that keychain that you need it? So, like, do you have a birthday, an anniversary, or who's it's or what's it that you're trying to have it for? Because sometimes I can work things around that. And one thing about streaming is it keeps me doing it like this. It keeps me on track of get your work done, which is better. Let me see if this will fit. Don't know if this will fit or if I'm going to have to use all long ones for this. We shall see. Nope. Let's use long. So I will go to skip 3. Put them in less frequently. Skip 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah. Okay. I will have to get that date and put it in my folder. Oops, let's skip 5 instead of 4. That's 4. This also gives you an idea of what it's going to look like when I'm done with that black edging on there. I think it looks good. It's a lot of layers here. There's 3 layers of the thick fabric and 2 layers of the thin fabric. Hi, MZ. Robbie doesn't send me boxes anymore. I wish he did. I would love to be able to get things little bits at a time. And catalog them and put them away, because then the family will not notice exactly how much I get from him. But when I go down and I come back with the back hatch full, it's very obvious how much I'm getting from him. And I'm waiting for an update on my gym club box. They were delayed in getting some stuff, so they got the boxes out late. And so I got notification that they were shipping it, and they got a tracking number on it. So I'm going to wind up getting 2 gym club packages really close together. Because usually they take the money out for the box. 2 weeks later, I get a box. 2 weeks later, they take money out. Well, I think this week, this week, they take the money out. So I didn't get the box 2 weeks ago. So the box is almost 2 weeks late. But he says it's worth it. So we shall see. The holes on the black are slightly, ever so slightly closer together. Which is good because it'll pull that curve better. These things work so well, holding things in place. Marcia, again, I can't thank you enough for getting me these. I'll go ahead and throw some in the middle here. I know I'll use most of these, if not all of them. It's risky just sticking my fingers in there and pulling them out without looking. Yeah, I also write down the link. I copy the link to the video and put it with the list. That way, if I still can't remember, I can go back and look at the video real quick and see what pieces they are. For big projects, I will have to have more. I will have to get more of these, Marcia. I'm sure I didn't skip an extra hole. Did. I think I'm gonna like this one with this color. Even though I'm not a green person. I think even not being a green kind of person, I'm still gonna really like this one. And it's real cool for me because this leather is the exact leather I used for a flat cap I made. And then I'm making this, and then I'm going to make a garrison cap out of this leather. So that one project paid for the leather for 3 projects, and I'm okay with that. And then I'll probably, based on how much I have, I'll still have some left over. And I think I'll make one of the quick keychains to go with this. I think that's going to be my norm, is I make one of the really simple keychain designs like these and send them with each thing I make, just with some of the leftover scrap leather, because those take minutes to make. And last time I did a little extra keychain thing, you would have thought I sent the guy an extra $100 bill or something. They were just ecstatic about the extra. But I have 2 keychains to make. I'm not sure what, I know what Marsha's is, or what she wants, exactly what she wants. I'm not sure about what Heather wants. I just know what leather she wants it made out of. Oh boy. 1, 2. Now comes the fun part. Giving them. I have my stiffener in here. I should probably pull the threads out of that as I go. 1, 2, 3. That's right. Okay, Marshall, let me get this pin in this hole. 1, 2, 3. Oh boy. There it goes. I have to go in and touch up the paint job, so to speak, on this. You can see it starting to cup, it's starting to take shape. I have an added layer here because there's also a stiffener in this. There's a stiffener piece in here that'll make the front stand up. I used to try to hand stitch it in after the fact, after I made it and decided that that's not the best way to do it. The best way to do it is to incorporate it in the main design as I build it. So yeah. That means I fight with it a little bit more. In trying to put it together. But it ends up being a much cleaner design by doing it this way. Well, that didn't work. I should probably quit trying to work left-handed. Yep, I need to quit working left-handed. I cannot do that left-handed. Okay, that one caught. Not unless that was just a difficult one, which is possible. It doesn't look right. Try it again. One, two, three, four. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm having trouble getting that in the hole. And that piece came off again. And that's telling me that that's that piece, not me. Make sure. One, two, three. That's right. Yeah. That piece was just being difficult. Almost going to be past this. My new thread nippers are sharp. I'll deal with those extra threads later. I ripped my fingernail. I just caught my fingernail on something and ripped the edge of it. Yeah, it is. Didn't feel right. When I can see straight through it, so it should go through okay. Should go through okay, but that doesn't mean it will. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right. It's not supposed to be into. It's harder when you have something so rigid. Get those together. Well, I put it through one piece at a time then. That hole. And I know it's the second to the last hole in this other piece. It's better to do this now than trying to do this with the needle and thread. Definitely. I see Marja Flutter went to go on the phone with Mom. Well, that was Rustling a Bear. And Marcia, I will put those up on my wish list in just a bit. It's almost as bad as wrestling alligators. But it's going to have a good shape to it. And these holes should get back to being a little bit easier. And skipping 4 holes, doing every 5th hole should leave me with enough. Seems like as you get to the end of it, it should be easier, that everything should just fall into place. But for some reason, that is not what happens. And that's why I should have my thread snippers closed. Does give it a good shape though while I'm stitching. I know it's not the most interesting thing to watch. However, people said they wanted to see what I'm doing. They don't want me doing any of it behind the scenes. So this is how I do things. I did do the laying out of the pattern and cutting it out off screen, but that's about it. And that's a little bit harder to do online when I'm jumping from one table to the next. Get in the stupid hole. Quit being difficult. Now the pieces are starting to go in together easier since I'm almost to the end. As long as I end up with the same number of holes. This piece I'm not worried about because I did cut it extra. On the edge of that circle and getting the inside part of the circle to align with the outside part of the circle. That's the fun part. Let's see, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One day I'll learn to do this exactly the length I need. Instead of doing it this way. That'll make a nice, good end to that. Almost finished with getting the pins in now. It's almost come full circle. Well, hi, Monica. And I am going to have to unstitch this because I need to put that crossover piece in my stitch. Which I did not account for. It's better that I caught this. Doing this way means I caught this before I got too far. Much easier to take out 2 stitches. Than 32 stitches. Leave the thread on my lap. Oh no, Marcia. It's what you do when you like it. I enjoy doing this. So yeah, I have the patience to go with it because I enjoy it. If this were a computer, that'd be a different story. My patience would not be there. Is that hole not? Ow! Marcia, you made me bleed again. See? Stuck my finger again. Where's the Band-Aid? No, don't tell me you used them all. Well, I guess I did. And yes, I'm putting tape on my finger. And I will tell the child to bring me a Band-Aid. I absolutely could not see that that point was coming through. I actually thought it had not come through. Clean that edge up. And even before I thread the needle, I'm going to get the needle in all these holes. In the hole. Oh my gosh, I can't find it. There it is. Skipping every fourth hole and only pinning on the fifth means that I had enough plus 3. Oh, PT is always fun. I will hook this one up like it's supposed to be after I get it run through. And the other end of my thread here. Grab my other needle. Stick it through the hole. I am not an expert at threading needles. These needles actually have large holes. And with this being waxed thread, it stays put. The first few holes are the hardest. Because I am aligning 2, 4, 6, 7 holes here. And through 6, 7. Oh. Fix this needle the way it's supposed to be. See, this is how people normally sew. The thread moves. Do it that way. The thread moves back and forth easily. And so what I do is I flatten the thread a little bit so that I can stick the needle in the middle of it and basically pierce my thread. Pull it there, and when I do that, now my needle won't slip off. Now I have to go the opposite way through 7 layers. And in theory, if I'm pulling this tight enough, the holes will stay aligned for me to be able to do that. In theory. That's 3. Except I'm right-handed, not left-handed, so working on that backwards makes it a little more difficult for me. 4 layers. Yeah, Marcia would have just thrown this across the room. I can see it now. Whee! There goes the project. Marcia's done. And part of it for me is knowing at the end of the day, I am going to have a project finished that somebody is going to absolutely love. And that is where part of my patience comes from. That knowledge of someone loving this when I'm finished with it. And I have my threads tangled because that's what I do. Get out of there. And there we go. Perfect. That was the absolute hardest stitch so far because of going through all those layers. The next is center front when I'm going through that hard surface. Once I get this lined up for a couple of stitches, this won't be so bad. As long as I keep my scissors up there. Keep catching my tails. This, I will be pulling the threads really snug as I sew. Come on. I can see it through 3 layers. I've got it going into the 4th layer, but it's not coming out. There it goes. And seriously, once I get this going, it will be easier. I am pulling these really snug because I want them to definitely be snug. This whole hemming a circle thing doesn't, I just don't like it. I mean, yeah, it's going to look really good when it's done. But dadgum, that's hard. If anyone's ever sewn before, it's not easy to do a normal hem on a circle. Because on a circle, this layer is thicker than this layer. And so I've had to fold this over and keep it aligned going all the way around. And this is oval, it's not a circle, but still the same concept. The outside edge is bigger than the inside edge. And I've had to line those up. And that's what all the pins are doing. So yeah, fun. Making sure I'm staying hydrated. Yes, Marcia, they are hair pulling projects. And the fact that I hate splicing thread on my hand stitched projects means that my threads are rather long. This is one thread, and I have two of these. So it's a multi frustration thing of having the layers to work with, plus the circle. Yeah, that one went through a lot easier. Maybe they're starting to get all lined up now. I will have to tape my fingers because I will cut into the sides of my fingers. I usually do these, this one, and this one because of how I pull my threads. Yes, mucho better. Make sure I didn't just knot my thread. In that hole, out that hole. In the black layer, out the black layer. Out the black layer. I glue those two pieces that layer together to make this part easier, and it is not being easier. There it is, in the green layer, out the green layer. So I have 2 layers of green. And then 2 layers of black. And that's what layer is giving me trouble. And then another layer of green. What's wrong? So if I do it that way, it's going to put the wrong thread on top. I do things systematic. And this time it went through all the layers beautifully. Something's caught. Thread is twisted. Nope, it looped. Tried to tie itself in a knot. And we're not having that. We are so not having that. So your husband acts like it's April Fool's Day every day, huh? What flavor was this drink mix? Peach mango. That's pretty tasty. Green layer. Green layer. Black layer. Green layer. I missed a layer. Yep, I missed this layer. I missed the green layer, so let me pull the thread back through the other side. I stabbed at it, but it slipped right past it. There we go. So when I look at what I'm doing as I go, because then I can catch if I miss something like this. One of my threads is loose. Which one is that? Okay. All layers must be accounted for. Now you guys get to see my ghetto way of taking care of my fingers. Some people buy fancy gloves for this. But buying fancy gloves means I have to keep up cleaning fancy gloves every time I work on projects. That catches my little finger, and it catches this finger, and that's how I pull. So I do bend my fingers as I go, so it doesn't look great. But I'm not in it for a beauty contest. I'm in it to take care of my body. So now when I flip this, I do this and I pull it tight, my fingers are predominantly protected. Anything I would wear, I would have to be very cautious of because of sometimes I'm working with white leather. So a pair of gloves that have color to them could leave marks that would be unwanted. Oh, thank you, Marcia. You rock, but you already know that. I just did my ghetto taping of the fingers to stop me from splitting my skin open. Tell you what, fighting with these circles when I make these hats reminds me of when I was a kid and I decided I wanted a circle and a half skirt because a circle skirt just wasn't good enough. Yeah. And then I had to hem it. And hemming around a circle's edge is not fun. Flutter Marcia is. Marcia is an awesome supporter. She was the first one to get me my. I got a thread caught somewhere. There it is. Get off of there. So now you can see how this edge is starting to come along. You can see that that's where I've got it stitched. And so you're going to have that, and it's just going to show that little black piped edge, which gives it a nice clean finish. It's going to be so awesome. And this is a cool color. I'm not a green kind of gal, but you know. I do have to admit those things have made it a lot easier to do this. Because if I skip a hole, I will know within a few stitches that I've screwed up and skipped a hole. I'm going to move these. Because my threads keep getting caught on them. And every time I get one of the threads on the outside is when I pull it snug. And then move this thread to the back because the other one will be the front thread. So there's a constant motion of moving the threads for me, for the way I stitch. Not everybody who sews leather does it the way I do it. My way is partially because of coming from a sewing background. I don't follow the rules of this is how you must do it for leather crafting all the time. Sometimes my rules are more, I used to make my own daggum clothes. I was a mix, Marcia. Sometimes I was tomboyish, but other times I wanted to be girly. And I happen to be one of those people that can pull off either. I hear a child. Hot. I just crossed my threads. Okay. I've been on about 2 hours. I've been on 2 hours and I feel like I haven't accomplished much because I've only gotten this much stitching done. But I know I have accomplished a lot. I'm going to move this out of my way. Get some stuff there. So allow me to move my project up a little bit. Pull my threads up out of the way so that I can scooch my seat up further. No, I don't want to go through the same hole. I'm going to go to the next one. Silly. I do talk to myself when I'm doing this stuff. So when I'm sitting here alone, I still talk to myself. Man, this looks good. At least I think it looks good. I'm going to send pictures to the lady who commissioned this for her friend. So that she can see that it's started and moving along. I have to take the next one out. Oh, yeah. That's why. I still had that container up here. It's okay. I'll just put them away when I'm done. Caught a thread. I'm just untangling threads over here because I let one tail pick up the other one. And I will not create a knot. This next one. Why are you all of a sudden becoming a pain in my patootie? There you go. There we go. Take this thread, move it over here. I actually have a magnet sitting over here that I throw my needle on. And I'll pull it through. There. Hi, Lisa. I am sewing this hat. It is the forest green, and it's going to have it has the black piping on it. And so far, so good. I'm feeling fine. If you were asking me. I'd be doing better if this thing was wanting to participate with me. I'm most of these holes have been participating quite well. There we go. I've only poked one hole in my fingers today, so I'm doing good. I never put streaks in my, well, I never intentionally put streaks in my hair. My hair would bleach out somewhat because of all the swimming in chlorine I used to do. Because during the summertime, especially, I was in the pool 5 to 7 days a week. I taught swimming. The Catholic school had a pool and they gave free swimming lessons. And so once we reached a certain level, my sister and I were asked to assist in teaching swimming. So I would get in the pool for like 9 o'clock in the morning, and then we would leave for lunch. The pool was closed for about an hour and a half or 2 hours at lunchtime, and we would leave the pool and walk home, get something to eat, walk back to the pool, and then go swimming again and be teaching the more advanced classes. My hair was shades of auburn. We have red highlights in our hair, undertones. So when the chlorine hits it, the hair turns reds. My sister tried bleaching her hair one time with peroxide, and due to the red undertones in the hair, her hair turned kind of orange. I never did it intentionally. It was just the nature of going swimming that did it for me. I got a hair. Every project I send out is there's a possibility it's going to have a purple hair in with it. The white projects I work on, I make sure that I keep my hair tied up as to not get my hair on the white leather and let my purple hair dye do its thing, you know? Yeah. And if you bleach it too much, it absolutely will just break away. And then once my hair started going gray, even when I would dye it, it would dye in different tones. So that tells me my hair, individual strands, not all strands are the same color from when I was younger, because I would dye my hair and it would come out with different colorations in it. Five layers of fun. My gray has no problem gripping on to purple. And now that my hair is partially gray, predominantly, but still partially gray, when I color it, it comes up with streaks of different shades of purples. And I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. I remember one time I got a color. This is when I was still working in the office. I got some hair color to dye my hair. And I did not pay attention to the fact that it said it had burgundy undertones. And in my hair, if I dye it brown with burgundy undertones, my hair comes out purple. It doesn't come out with undertones of purple. No, my hair comes out purple. And that was a problem when I was working in the office. Because that was not allowed. We were only allowed to have natural hair colors. And so I wound up having to double process my hair. Why does it look like it did not go through the right hole? Because it did not go through the right hole. I skipped a hole. Backtrack. Try again. There it goes. Now it's in the right hole. Hold on a second. I need to tell my daughter something. And my daughter got a pair of shoes, and they wound up being tighter. Okay, wait, that is the back one. This is the front one. Come here. And when I'm talking back and front, I'm talking about the thread location. This is the front thread. This is the back thread. Because the way I do it is I pull this one down, the front thread down, when I stick my needle back in that hole. And I do my stitch exactly the same way each time, as far as my methodology goes. And what that accomplishes is my stitching stays straight. It's on a curved line, but none of my stitches look like they're diagonal one way or the other. They stay straight in line with they're parallel to the edge. And that's very intentional. I have boot blacking supplies, leather care supplies, and I have some conditioner. Those boots probably need to be conditioned. And I do have shoe stretchers. So what I'll do is I'll put conditioner on the inside, leather conditioner on the inside of the shoe, of the boot, and then I'll stick my shoe stretcher in, and I'll stretch my shoe stretcher out as far as it'll go to put pressure on them, and it'll stretch them. Mama's good like that. She has a couple of weeks before she needs them. So I'll be able to put some pressure on them and get them stretched out before she needs them. And I might put the stretchers on them and tell her to stick them outside in the heat during the day, because that will increase the ability to stretch them. Because heated leather stretches easier than cold leather. Oh, I was trying to figure out what was touching my foot. My thread was down underneath my heel. And so when I was pulling on it, it was pulling up on my heel. Getting almost a quarter of the way there. And since this is one of the few stitches that's actually going to show, I will probably hammer the heck out of this when I get done to set those stitches and make them look good. I had someone wanted me to make them a hat, someone I know, and I'd love for you to make me a hat. I'd love for you to make me a hat. And then I gave them prices, and they were like, "Oh, I can't do that." I'm like, well, then I can't make you a hat. They were wanting the price for mass produced crap. Okay, I will look at that. Curious to know what it's made of. Sometimes people will buy specialty stuff and then I'll look at the ingredients and it's like, oh, I have that in my kit already. And my phone just dinged at me, so I guess that means I got a message. I did. I got a message from Marcia. Let me get this to the outside. I need to tape my finger better too because my thread is slipping underneath my tape. What is it? Okay, it's nice line. I'm gonna have to go look at that. See what that is. Because curiosity. Oh man. I will probably get this hat finished this week. Yay. I'll probably do like I was doing before and I'll go on tomorrow after work. And I'll go on and then get off when Lisa and Kendra go on a little bit before that. And then go on Wednesday after Robbie goes live, if he goes live. Otherwise, I'll just go live after work. And then Thursday, go live until Lisa and Kendra come on. And do that so I can get this finished. And as I go, it seems like the stitching is getting easier. Or at least on the sides it seems to be a little easier. And it might be because it's less curved. It's more straight on the sides. Oh, that's true. Or he may go live in the truck as he's driving. So I'll find out. So I'll have to check with him. Because obviously his lives are more important than mine. So yeah, we've gotten that sewn from over here to over here. Get all that sewn. And I've been on almost 3 hours. Debating if I should continue on for a little bit longer. Or if a 3-hour stream is long enough. I think I'm going to start letting someone come on with me so that they could read the chat and stuff and talk with me. If someone has questions, let them come on and ask questions while I'm doing this kind of stuff. Just as a change up. Ask your leather questions while Tori makes stuff. I'm going to just caught my thread on something. I think what I'll do is I'm going to prepare to go offline tonight. And I'll probably work on my jewelry holder a little bit tonight. And I'll put the black on the back of the brim. But I think I made good progress today. Tomorrow will just be stitching. I won't be fighting with putting in the stitch savers. But it's going to be a nice shape. Maybe later I'll try to figure out how to get this thing to change the direction of the camera instead of it being tall, making it go landscape. And try to figure that out. But I'll set this aside for a minute. And show you. I don't have the shape cut into it yet because I have to do some setting of where things are going to be. And let me see. I turn on the light on this, you can see the purple, the blues, and the greens that's in here. But I lined it up where it's going to have the rose on the front here, and then the rose on the front here. And before I can attach this, I have to look at where the snaps and everything are going to go, because I think I'm going to set the snaps underneath the fabric so that it doesn't show. And then the inside, excuse the inside of it right now because this is a stiffener. The inside is going to be this black satiny fabric. Like this. And this will obviously be tucked around it. But so it'll have this black satin fabric. So when you close it, you can see that you'll have the black satin there. And then I have the black satin to make the wings off of the left and the right, to fold it in so that the jewelry doesn't slip out of it. But I have to do some of the stuff ahead of time that'll be attached to the board, to the backer board. I do want to put a thin layer on here of a padding. And I think I have some stuff around here to use for that. So I want to do that. I want to put a thin coat on, a thin layer on both sides of this to make it have that cush, because right now it's kind of flat. Has no shape. It's just flat. I'll do that first. And then I'll anything that needs to be attached to this will get attached. So the snap is, well, the under snap will get attached in here before I attach the liner, so that the snap doesn't show on the inside. That is a thought. Because I can do that. Let me see. And because this is going to be folded in, it'll be more balanced when I'm done. I could also sew a strap across that would come across here like a ribbon. Or I could stitch a ribbon here and a ribbon here and just tie it together here with a black satin ribbon. I could put one here, and then on the back to pull around. And tie the 4 pieces together here to make a cute little bow. And that'll keep anything from coming out the sides. And it'll keep this closed. Yeah, I might do that. It might look cleaner. It looks like it's off balance right now because it's not 100% centered in here. By the time this gets folded on both sides and this gets in there, it'll be balanced. But yeah, I fell in love with this fabric when I first saw it, and then decided to go with it. And I just love how the greens, the blues, and the purples there. From a distance, you hardly see it. But then when you get up close, you see that. And then the back of it would still have the same thing. It will have the flowers all over the back. And that'll be something I carry with me with my bougie jewelry. Because the other one's just not big enough. The other one was made for one necklace, which isn't even the necklace that's in there. because that's the necklace I took apart and made a hat band out of, which was multiple strands of amethyst, or the smaller amethyst. That was these. Oh, look, I got fuzzies on here, different colors of fuzzies. But these amethysts were in there. And I made a hat band, and it's really funny because they look so much lighter here than what they actually are on it. They look more pink than what they are. But I actually bought that one for the purpose of making the hat band out of it, so that I would always have my amethyst with me. So yeah, so this is going to be my bougie jewelry box thing I'm going to be working on. I'm working on this in the evenings on my own time. I'm not doing this one online because there's a lot of thought process that has to go into it as I go. I need to go over and see what kind of satin ribbons. If I'm not mistaken, I have some that's about a 1/2 inch. Yeah, I have some ribbon. I think it's a 1/2 inch wide satin ribbon. And that would actually take away a lot of the issues, because then I would just have to put the padding on both, glue the padding down to each side, put everything together, and then fold this in, center it a little bit better, but fold this in, and I'll probably just tape it down. And then put the satin over it and fold the edges under of the satin. And then stitch over it. And I'll be able to stitch right through this with my sewing machine. So yeah. That's my yes, I did braid the band. It's 3 strands of amethyst, and I braided it. It's a loose braid. Just so that, and then I actually hand stitched it into the hat, onto the hat, so that someone can't see it and just lift it off. If someone's going to try to steal it, they're going to have to work for it. Because that's how I roll. If someone's going to steal something from me, it's not going to be simple. Fingers are saved. Ouch, I just stabbed myself. So much for saving my fingers. I'm sitting here stabbing myself. Not exactly where you want to cut yourself. You got to remember these scissors are super sharp because they are brand new. Because somebody decided to lose the spring out of her scissors. I have a perfectly good pair of Fisker thread snips, except the spring went flying across the room. I like the spring loaded because it's less stress on my hands. Oh, look, hardly any blood. That's good. And I had my other ones that I used all the time. They're gray and black. The blades are a little bit longer. And I've had them for years. I had them longer than I've had my husband. And there's a spring right here that makes them open. So I just have to close them and they spring open. So that means you're not using your hands like on traditional scissors you're using your thumb to open them, which causes more tension here to do that. Nifty scissors I found in a box of stuff I got. But, so these cause less stress on my hands. I don't use anything in my thumb. My thumb are what gives me a lot of trouble. And so with these, I don't have to do anything. Marcia, I go places where a pew pew can't go. I mean, if they try to come into my house to take stuff, pew pew is going to get them if the dogs don't. Either they will get eaten by a dog or they'll go down and then get eaten by a dog. Either way, they're going to wish they had not come into the home. Because our dogs are as sweet as can be unless they feel that the humans are threatened. If they feel that their humans are threatened, then it's not okay. And the older dog, Coda, he is extremely protective of me. When I go up this evening, he'll be laying at the top of the stairs, in the doorway at the top of the stairs. I will come up, he will get up, and then he will follow me. And when I go to bed, he either goes and lays right in front of the front door of the house, or he lays right at the top of the stairs, watching the front door. I need to find a range to go to around here. I haven't been to a range in so long. Topher wants me to take him and teach him. As of now, the kids just know, don't mess with them. You don't know what to do with them, don't mess with them. I do want to teach them basic firearm safety. I think if you have them in your home, then everyone in your home should be capable of unloading and loading and safely moving firearms throughout the house. That's how I wound up getting my daughter into it. Was I basically told her, if you're going to live in my house, you must know these basic things. And so I taught her basic skills. And because at first she was like, I don't want to shoot. I don't want to shoot. I don't want to shoot. I'll never shoot. I'll never shoot. And then once I taught her the basic skills, she was like, oh, wait a minute. I like this. So she picked it up. And then there's a few here that she has inherited. And then there's mine. And I still have some other ones of my late husband's here, I believe. And then Jeff has his. Yeah, when I was with my late husband, the kids had their own. The youngest child, if I would call him over and I would say, come here, let's do this. And anything that I would hand him, he would work with, because he knew that I would not give him anything that would harm him or really hurt him. When it came to shooting the long ones, he was so small he couldn't hold them up himself. So I would sit on the ground and he would sit in my lap and put his right shoulder to my right shoulder. And so I would help hold the front of it up for him so that he could aim it and target practice. And then he got older, so he could do it himself. At the range, it was easier because he could put it up on the table the range we went to, each station had a table ledge that was probably about 18 inches deep and 2 feet wide. So the shorter people could just lay it up on there. And that's what the youngest one did until he got big enough that he could do it himself. Yeah. I believe that everybody should learn. So I have been on here just over 3 hours. I'm going to go ahead and get off tonight. I will be back on tomorrow, probably around the same time, about 6:15. And I will be on for about 3 hours and then take a break and then go to Two Leaves in a Pod. And I'll probably do the same on Wednesday and Thursday, except Wednesday is not Two Leaves in a Pod. It's just me. It would just be me. But this way I can get some work done. And I'm going to get the pattern together for the next hat, which will be black with rainbow stitching. I need to check out the rainbow stitching options and possibly order some more thread for that. And yeah, it'll be good. I think it'll be fun. So everybody have a safe and good night. Marcia, you be safe going to PT. Do what they say. Get better. Flutter, I'll keep you in my prayers for the best outcome of your liver situation. I'm hoping it was a fluke and everything will be okay. Or even if it wasn't a fluke, that they can fix it and everything will be okay. To those not communicating in chat who are just lingering around and who are watching this later, I hope you always have wonderful evenings and keep yourself safe. Do what you love doing, or as Robbie likes to say, you follow your passion. Be kind to others. Random acts of kindness, they go a long way. Do for the sake of doing, not because you want to get a pat on the back and praised for it. And with that, I will see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.